Hello, hello, hello. We are waiting, and we are going. Hi, everyone. Well, I am back. I know it's been a minute. We had a pageant we were doing, and so that took time, and I needed to relax after that and get my bearings and get back together. I always want to thank everyone who supported me in that endeavor. It was interesting. I enjoyed it. Hi, Roger. Thanks for joining. Hi, Baker. Thanks for joining. So tonight we are doing the drink of the night. Now, I know it's 12 o'clock, so it's really in the morning. But as they all say, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. And it's brunch somewhere, too. So there you go. So tonight we are doing a classic, which is basically Bailey's and coffee. Except we're not using Bailey's, but we are using coffee. So the coffee I have, if you've been following me, even though I haven't been doing Lexie Kitchen Creations, I have been doing Lexie Around Town. So if you caught Lexie Around Town, you caught my interview with Jacob's Java. Black-owned, the first black-owned roaster. Well, he's not a roaster. He owns his beans. Coffee shop in Marietta. And so we have this coffee here today, and I forgot to put it out. This is what happens when you've been out a while, out of commission for a minute. There you go. We have his coffee here today. Now, what makes his coffee unique is two things. Probably three things, but I'm going to start with the two that I remember. So, one, he uses three different beans. He uses 3 beans from 3 different regions. He has his own process on how he gets those to do. So this is a luxury coffee. The only way you can get it is if you get it from him. You're not going to go into Starbucks or any of these other stores and find this. It's only him. So to have a luxury coffee, and he's the one who introduced me to drinking coffee with cigars, because, usually you drink cigars and you drink, your brandy, not your brandy. Well, you do brandy sometimes. Heard a good port is also good. Of course, bourbon, whiskey, all those spirits you take with your cigar. But what about coffee? Coffee goes just as well, especially his coffee. So we're going to do a high-end coffee deserves a bit of high-end treatment. So even though we're doing a classic Irish cream, Bailey's, it's not really Bailey's, but Irish cream and coffee, we're not using Bailey's. Nothing against Bailey's. Bailey's is great. They started it. They're great. They taste great. They got flavors. I love Bailey's. But you want, sometimes when you have something that's a luxury, you also want to put luxury with luxury. So what we have here, which I had never heard of before until I looked it up, we have 5 Farms Irish cream. So this is a small batch Irish cream. Still a product of Ireland, made in Cork County, or County Cork, Ireland. Small batch, fresh dairy cream. Is owned by the 5 Families Farm, hence the name. It has a bit of a richer flavor than Bailey's. And so I thought this would pair very well with the coffee. Being that it's a luxury coffee, we have more of a luxury Bailey's. Triple distilled Irish whiskey is what it's made with, as well as their cream. So a lot of times if you do Irish coffee, so there's a difference between Irish coffee and Irish cream in coffee, which is an Irish coffee is usually whipped cream, sugar, whiskey, a shot of whiskey, and the coffee. But when you have it with the cream, you kind of take away that extra. Well, you still can put the whipped cream, but usually take that away and just have the Irish cream and the coffee. I'm going to do something a little different and I'm still going to sweeten it, but I'm not sweetening it with honey, with sugar. I'm sweetening it. I think I'm tired, y'all, with honey. So we have this Hawaiian macadamia blossom multifloral honey, which will kind of give this drink a tinge of a nutty flavor. And we don't have to put a whole lot in there. We just put a half a teaspoon, and that's it. And I like to pour hot coffee over it so that it nice and melts. Now for this, you only are going to put about a third, a 3/4 of the way full, depending on your cup. And you want to stir the honey in first with the hot coffee. What we're doing here now. So that's the good thing about this coffee. You really don't need sugar, a good honey, and that's it. Honey, if you have to have this sweet, you can actually take this really good black. It's very smooth. It is very, I'm a Starbucks girl. Well, I was a Starbucks girl, but once I tried this, I was like, yeah, I don't know about that no more. So, because with Starbucks, I always had to put sugar in it. And I always had to put, oat milk or something like that. But with this, I don't have to put a tablespoon of honey. And I could drink it straight like that. Or I can add my little half and half. I love my silk half and half coconut, half oat milk, half and half. There you go. So that's the one thing we do. Then we just going to add our cream. And we're just going to pour the cream. So it really has a different flavor and a different look. I think Bailey's looks a little bit more whiter. This looks really more creamier to me. As you can see, it made the coffee like white. Usually when you do Irish, you have enough that it still keeps it dark. So this is really potent stuff. So it looks much different than it did before. So maybe I put too much cream. I don't know. We'll see. But that was our Irish cream and coffee. So if you like you can always make it less creamy. If you want it a bit more darker, you can add more cream. If you like I did, you have it light. We're going to do a little taste. Oh, that's good. That's good. I like that. I like that. And so that is that Irish coffee and cream with our Jacob's Java coffee. You can get it right here. He's on Instagram at Jacob's Java. So go to Jacob's Java and some numbers behind it. I'll make sure I put it in the comments and then you can get some. And I have some people over here. Hi, Ann. Thanks for joining. So now the next thing we're going to do, now that we did the Irish coffee and cream, did you know that Buffalo Trace makes a bourbon cream? I didn't either until I went to the store and I was like, Buffalo Trace? Now, you know Buffalo Trace makes a good whiskey. Whiskey. Well, bourbon and whiskey. One of them. I think it's a bourbon. I really should know this since I drink it, but I forget. But obviously it's bourbon because this is a bourbon cream. So, that should have been like bourbon whiskey. There you go. See both. So they make one. So it should be good because they make a really good whiskey. I'm gonna love it. So this would be called a Kentucky coffee. Now we're going to do the Kentucky coffee more or less like we would go by the recipe. So the Kentucky is just the same thing. You have your coffee, you have an ounce of whiskey, and then you can top it off with your bourbon cream. And that's exactly what we're going to do. It also calls for Demerara sugar syrup, but we're going to add honey instead. Because like I said, with this, you really don't need sugar. Honey does the job just as well. So we're going to get ourselves another spoon because we use that spoon for one thing. So we get ourselves another spoon. And once again, we're going to take, this time we're going to add a little bit more, like a full teaspoon of honey because this is a bigger cup. And then we are going to pour the coffee in over the honey so that it'll melt the honey. Same, about 3/4 of a way full. Now the difference with this is that we are going to add our whiskey. So now I have my Heaven's Door whiskey, which is a blend of bourbon and rye. It's one of the special blends by the Mega Package Store. You know, this when they did each package store had their own blends. Well, Mega still has some of theirs. I found out not everybody took advantage of that, but there you go. So then we're going to pour about an ounce, maybe a half ounce, because this is not the big cup. Of whiskey, and plus it's late. And then we're going to top this off with the bourbon cream. Now I'm going to see how this works. Just a little bit. So that didn't get as dark, but it got darker. And the other thing is too, you can make the coffee darker. So I think next time I do this, I will definitely make the coffee more coffee so it'd be really, really dark and rich. For their coffee, the best way to even do their coffee is with a French press. If you do it at home, I mean, the really best way is to just go to his shop. But if you can't, you know, you can get it at home. But I wouldn't put it in like a K-cup or anything. I would definitely just put it in a French press and do it that way. You would need a little bit extra in there, but it'll work out. And so we have done that, and we will try. Oh, that's good. That's good. I like that. And that was it. So you can have it like this if you so choose. You see how the difference in color? This came out a little darker. This looks like a real light coffee, and this looks kind of more milky, but that's how it is. So when you use different things, you got to play with it a little bit. Now, if we want to, which I want to, you can always top it off with a little whipped cream. I might actually fill that up a little bit more, but you can this one I don't have to. So this one, you can always top it off with whipped cream. We might add some more coffee here. You really don't need more sugar. Definitely could add a little bit more coffee. And even though I'll probably make it a little lighter, I will definitely add a little bit more cream. Just because I want that flavor. And we're going to stir it up. And I want that nice mound on top. Here you go. And there you go. Your orange. Woo, child. Maybe I should do an orange creamsicle next. Let's try that. But anyway, there go your Kentucky coffee and your Irish coffee. Now, as you know, everything tastes better with glitter, and I still got my all good glitter. So we will just be sprinkling a little bit on top here. Just a little bit to make it nice and festive. If we had gold, it'd be gold. And there you have it. Our Kentucky cream with our bourbon cream, our Buffalo Trace bourbon cream, our Jacob's Java coffee, and our Heaven's Door whiskey. And then we have just our straight Irish cream and coffee with our Five Farms Irish cream, and once again with Jacob's Java's coffee. So that was our drink of the night. And oops, don't forget, and both sprinkled with our all good glitter. This time it was pink. So that was our drink of the night tonight. Thank you for joining. We are back. We will be back again next Friday, featuring another local business that has, brought their creativity to us and recipes and things like that. Thank you for sticking with me. Those who have stuck with me, and everybody pretty much stuck with me. So thank you so much. I love doing this, and I'm glad I'm able to show y'all things that my brain floats in and out my brain. So thank you again. Y'all have a good night. Hopefully I will eventually get some sleep with all this coffee. And see you later. Thank you for joining us, Kitchen Creations.